you're like me, we're in the middle of winter right now, and winter to me means that my feet feel very compressed into my boots. Probably need to invest in some more friendly barefoot type winter boots, but right now I don't, so I feel very stiff in my feet. So we're going to take 10 minutes to open the feet, strengthen the feet. Really can be good to do this throughout the whole year. So with a focus on my feet, we're going to start with a little bit of opening and stretching the feet. If you can, cross one foot over to the other knee, and you're going to try to take your other hand and slip it in between your toes, kind of giving yourself a little bit of that spa toe separator feeling. Holding on to your shin, start by just doing some big ankle circles, and as you're doing that, keep squeezing the fingers in between your toes. Give yourself a little bit of stimulation in there. Circle the foot the other way. Squeezing, spreading, imagining you're bringing a lot of blood to the area. Then try to slide your fingers out, and you're gonna just pull the toes and kind of scissor them apart. So like you're kind of doing this with them. First two toes, then the next two toes. Kind of pull them and scissor them. And then the next two, pull them and scissor them. And then the next two. And that already kind of makes your foot feel more alive and awake, and maybe even see the difference in color between my two feet. Take your other foot, cross it over, slide your fingers in between your toes, give them a nice squeeze. Then holding on, you're gonna do some big circles. Both directions, do about like 4 each direction, really stimulating each part of that, and go the other way. Each part of that circle, just where you feel comfortable, but challenge your mobility. Then try to squeeze a little bit more, and then slide your fingers out and take the first two toes and kind of scissor them both directions. And the next two, scissor, pull them, traction them, and already feel nice and open. And then if you have a towel, I forgot to mention, we're going to use that later. So make sure you have that. But first, you're just going to try to spread your toes, and if you need to do this with your hands, practice doing it with your fingers, and then relax them. So how much can you spread? Trying to keep them somewhat down so they don't pop up yet, but just spread them as much as they can, even if it's the tiniest bit, and relax them. Just like when you were trying to slide your fingers in between the toes, try to do it with your own effort, your own stretch. Spread, 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 spread. Then this next part, if you need to help yourself, you can always bend down and help, or do this on the floor. But let's do one leg first. Can you lift just the big toe up? And if it's too hard, you can reach down and put your fingers on the other outer 4 toes. And then just practice that, either holding on or not, and practice just going up and down with that big toe. You should be able to separate that motion from the other feet without letting the other toes get too scrunchy, too grippy. Then reverse that. If you need to push the big toe down, that first try, and then lift all the outer toes up and down without letting your whole ankle roll in, and your thighs really stable as well. So if you need to lean forward to kind of push it, go for it. If you want to sit up tall, and practice just lifting up and down. Then try the other foot. First the big toe up and down. Can you separate that? Go as slow as you need to, that you feel like you can do that separate without the other toes getting too crunchy. Then push the big toe down and lift the outer toes up. Yeah. Then let's do it together. Both big toes lift, other toes stay down. Both big toes stay down. Outer 4 toes on both sides lift up. And then alternate. Big toes, outer toes. You might notice it's harder to do it together. One foot might be totally different than the other. The more you do this whole series, the better it's going to get. So just keep practicing. Then can you lift all of your toes up and lower and as best as you can, lower just the pinkies down. Then the 4th toe, then the 3rd toe, the 2nd toe, and the big toe. And again, lift all the toes up. Lift pinkies, 4th, 3rd, like a fanning down. Again, as best as you can. Lift all of them up. And then pinky, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, big. And imagine they're stretching apart, stretching out. Like I said, it's like they just get really crammed in our shoes, no matter what kind of shoes you're wearing, and unless you're wearing barefoot shoes or you've trained yourself. But even so, sometimes we still need to train the muscles of our feet. We're not getting enough different surfaces to try to spread and practice on. Then in a similar sensation, we're going to walk one foot back so you feel grounded. You're going to flex that foot up first. Without your whole leg going, you're going to try to lower just, not the toes yet, just the outer border of your foot down. And then you're going to try to lower the pinkies. And as you lower, again, each toe, the whole foot's going to kind of fan back down eventually, back to kind of a neutral. Flex it. And then can you lower, not the toes yet, just this outer border. Try to do like piece by piece, outer heel, middle, and then to the pinky without your whole leg going out. So strengthening your ankle, stretching it, and then lower pinky, fourth, third. This is such a good one. Back to neutral. And again, flex it back. And then roll gradually, just this outer border, piece by piece. Pinky, third, fourth, third, second, first. One more time, flex it back, and then lower outer border of the heel, mid-foot, pinky knuckle, then pinky toe, fourth, third toe, second toe, big toe. Oh, that feels so much better, like it worked it and loosened it. Let's try the other side. Flex it, and then lower outer part of your heel, mid part of that outer foot, pinky toe, knuckle, then pinky toe, fourth, third, second, big, neutral. Flex it back. Leg stays. Outer part of the heel, mid part of the outer foot, pinky toe, knuckle, pinky toe, fourth, third, second, big, neutral, and back. Stretching it, working it to get there. So take your time, work for it. Don't just settle for, oh, my foot can't do that. The more, like I said, the more you do this, you're going to find new ranges, just like any other joint in the body. There's so many little joints in the foot. They're not glued together unless you've had surgery. So you need to practice and train it. Lower outer heel, mid outer foot, pinky toe, knuckle, pinky toe, fourth, third, second. Try both of them together. Up, roll without your legs going. Roll. Whew. And then fanning down. And then back. And roll those outer edges like a fanning down through the outer foot and then a fanning through the toes. 2 more. Really stretching and strengthening them. And even though I have pretty flexible, open feet, this is still a good challenge for me. We all need this. All right, so I feel like it kind of worked my outer ankles and arches. So now let's work the intrinsic muscles. All these little muscles in between those little joints. There's a third of the bones in your body. I think it's a third of the bones in your body are in your feet. So there's a lot of bones. That means there's a lot of joints. Maybe then 2/3 of the joints are, you don't have that many joints up here, but a lot. Every time there's a bone connecting to a bone, that's a joint, even if it doesn't move a lot. Then place the ball of your foot on the edge of your towel, and without crunching the toes, you're going to try to pull the towel towards you. See how my toenails stay up? Hopefully you can see it. And I'm pulling as much as I can without my toenails disappearing, and then I stretch my toes back out. So it's the doming. You should see your knuckles popping up. Toenails stay up, but knuckles and toenails up. And pulling, and you'll feel like those arches of your feet. We have a horizontal arch across those knuckles and a vertical arch, which is the one we think of more when we think of having either high arches or low arches. But there's also this horizontal arch with like lots of little muscle connections in there that we're hopefully strengthening as well. If you keep your toenails up, instead of using your toe flexors, you're using the arch muscles more. Keep going, keep dragging it in. and pull it. See if you can keep pulling. If it doesn't pull all the way, it doesn't matter. It just gives you something to pull, right? It doesn't matter if it, mine kind of stops moving at this point because my heel's in the way. You can start again if you feel like it's getting, if you like that reference of pulling it, scrunching it. Awesome. Almost done. Let's do 2 more. All right, so that was just 10 minutes of that, but we could spend a good half hour probably on your feet. Walk around, see how your feet feel. Shake them out a little. Mine feel alive and awake and ready to be smashed into shoes, or hopefully not smashed into shoes. But practice that no matter what season it is. It's really good for your feet to be strong, supple, healthy. Yeah, enjoy.